Hey, welcome. Today we're going to talk about the micro brand method that gets affluent coaching clients with a tiny audience, okay? So first of all, let's talk about the problem that coaches are having, and it's only getting worse, okay? You see, you are what people are buying in the coaching niche, all right? And the more things change, the more things stay the same. You see, here's the problem. Pre-2020, when all this shutdown stuff happened, here's what it was. People were buying your program. They're like, wow, you're a life coach and you can help me achieve all these goals. You have like a goal setting coaching program. This is amazing. Or you have like this amazing health coaching thing. Wow. And then they would go, look at your track record. You've coached all these people. You must be amazing. Or they'd be like, wow, you've got thousands of followers on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and TikTok and this and that. Okay, I'm going to follow you, right? And or, you were it potentially in most cases pre-2020 if you were a coach and you would basically be like one of the only life coaches. You were probably the first person they found. There somebody said, I'm really having trouble with confidence, so I need somebody to help me with that. And they would be on Facebook and see your ad, and you were literally the first person they would see, so they would want to work with you. That's all gone. That's ended. And that all ended in, like I said, right after the 2020-ish shutdown, all that kind of stuff, because everybody became a coach. And so now nobody trusts coaches, right? And we're going to get into the micro brand strategy to fix this, but I just want you to understand the context here. Why? Coaches are all saying the same thing. If you're, let's use the life coaching thing as an example because it's something everybody relates to. Well, everybody's contradicting each other. I got this way of getting confidence. I got this way. I got this NLP thing. I got this goal setting thing. I got this. I got that. And so your ideal client, their head is full of ideas and stuff, and they just don't know who to trust. And so they don't just trust anybody anymore. Now everybody has the same credibility process. Everybody's got 10 testimonials. Everybody's got case studies. Nobody knows if those are your friends, if those are real people. Everybody's got a book, which most of them are written by ChatGPT, but now everybody's got a book. Everybody bought themselves a TED Talk, so they were able to get on the TED Talks. Everybody has a podcast and a this and a that. And so when everybody does something, it completely diminishes the power of it, and so it doesn't work. Now everybody's running ads, everybody's got social media followings, all that, everybody's got a free sales call, all that kind of stuff. And so the problem is you've got this massive issue where everybody's doing everything, and the problem is you as a coach with a smaller following can't like out muscle everybody with everything. You can't just keep doing more and more and more and more. You're just going to get the same or worse results. And as time goes and as trust goes down, it's just going to get worse because right now, like every day, more and more and more and more people are becoming coaches, right? So it's getting worse and worse and worse. We need a different strategy. We need a micro branding strategy because you can't just tell people you are better. You can't just use a better funnel, okay? So here's why becoming a micro mini celebrity status brand is the most important thing that you need to focus on right now. If you want to hit that next 20,000 a month, get affluent buyers, charge what you're worth. Here's why. Number one, you can do it on a super small budget. I'm going to map out the whole plan for you in this video. Number two, you will have the right people seeing you as the only option who will want to work with you. Number three, you can do it for cheap with proper social media ads if you do it right. And number four, you do not need very much social proof to make this work. Number five, it's the future. And number six, you have to become the brand, okay? So now, before we get into the hows of this, what I want you to do is quickly just hit the follow button if you're watching this on YouTube or subscribe. I put out all kinds of videos, usually two a week anyways, of what's working, what's not working, how to fix your business, coaching business, all that kind of stuff. And so hit subscribe so you get all the updates. All right, so here is how we do this, all right? Now, I'm gonna map this down. There's 4 things that you have to do. And the most important one is number 4 because it ties it all together. So just remember that. And all of them build upon each other, all right? So if you're a coach who is struggling to get people to see you as the only option, if your ads aren't working, maybe you aren't using ads, you want to use ads, but it's just not working, you're just not getting enough momentum to really scale to that next 20,000 or your first 20,000 or whatever it is. So the first thing we need to do and this is what most coaches are screwing up right now. I promise you this, we need to solve the single most expensive problem in your niche with or to the people who have or have access to the most amount of money, okay? These two need to come together. And pretty much every coach I see is screwing this up, okay? Let's say the life coach model that we were talking about. Here's what a lot of these life coaches are doing who are helping people with confidence. Hey, do you want to have more confidence? Do you want to have more confidence? Do you want to have more confidence, your job, your career, blah, 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 all this other stuff? The problem is you're just trying to reach everybody. You have to reach, like, think of one person that is it. Who is that? Is it a professional? Is it a doctor? Is it a whatever it is? What is that one little niche who you can reach? It's all about, remember, micro brand. We have to micro target, because if we micro target and we create a super tight, small brand, you're going to be seen as the absolute best option. Perfect example of this is like the medical field, right? You've got, general practitioners, and then specialists, and then specialists, and all the way up, right? And the people at the top work with the least amount of people. They're the most specialized, and they make the most money in most cases, right? And that's what you have to become in your niche. And this is why it's not working, is because coaches will not go deep enough. They go too broad. So you need to be the specialist, and in terms of a life coach who helps professionals making six figures a year isn't even that much anymore, right? 200,000 plus a year, who works 50 hours a week, who's a professional and or a business owner. Those are two opposites, but one or the other hypothetically. And you have a special strategy to help them with confidence. But the problem you got to understand is what you got to stop doing is selling your coaching. People are not buying your fulfillment. They're buying themselves out of the problem. So what is the problem? Confidence is more the solution, but very few people are saying, hey, I need more confidence. They're saying, hey, you know what? I keep, I'm stressed out all the time. I don't have any energy because I'm constantly worried. I'm living in fear. So you're helping that person out of that, which is the result is confidence. Okay, that's the first thing we got to do. One person, the biggest problem, and obviously they have to have the money. You might be solving the biggest problem in your niche that you can solve, but it's not to the people who have the money. Remember, they need to have or have access to that money, or you don't get paid. So it's one person, all right? And it's usually some professional business or whatever, okay? Now, number two, the second thing which plays off the first thing is we have to use what we call a symptomatic-based ad strategy that starts at $10 to $20 a day, all right, with cold traffic. Now, here's the problem. Why we call it a symptomatic-based ad strategy is with the changes on Meta, Facebook, Instagram, where you should be using because your market's there, coaches will say, well, I don't know if my people are on Facebook. Well, like there's only 2 billion people on Facebook. How many of them do you need a month, right? You need 5, maybe 10. Okay, they're on Facebook, I promise you, all right? And so, but the problem with the recent changes are you have to avoid attracting aspirational people. Okay, what are aspirational people? Remember what we talked about, the problem that you're solving is to people making $250,000 a year, working 50, 60 hours a week. Your ad and your messaging on Facebook needs to make sure it is not attracting people who want to be that person. All right. They need to, your ad and your messaging on your ad needs to exclusively lock down that person who you're attracting and make sure it is repelling the aspirational people, or Facebook's going to go find aspirational people. Let me give you an example of our situation. We get realtors once in a while join our free Skool community and stuff like that. We don't help realtors. We help real estate investors and real estate coaches, or coaches who coach realtors, absolutely. But if they're a local realtor, our systems are not designed for that. Our systems are designed to go nationally and for coaching clients. But we'll get realtors who, whatever reason, sign up for our stuff, even though it's completely useless and a waste of their money, guess it won't, or a waste of their time. So what happens though is they're aspirational. They're like, well, I'm a realtor, but maybe it'll work for me. And next thing you know, Facebook starts sending us more realtors, and we get a whole bunch of realtors reaching out to us. Why? Because they're going into our audience and they're finding people who look like the people who are reaching out to us. And then Facebook takes that data and finds more people. So this is why you need that micro brand. We need that one person with that one problem and be as ruthless as possible to repel everybody else. So you got to be careful because you got to customize the ads manager like about 95% of the settings, or it's just going to go crazy. So what we do is we reset it and we're able to fix it. So those are the first two things. Now, the third thing we need to do before we get to number 4, which is the single most important thing, and here's the secret, nobody's doing it, all right? So number 3, remember, it's ecosystem instead of funnel, and you do not give educational content. Here's why. Remember, funnels build distrust versus ecosystems create trust. Nobody wants your free lead magnet anymore. Nobody cares about your free PDF. Everybody knows that they think it's ChatGPT created, right? They think that it's some piece of AI work, the video, all the 5-minute video, the book a call, all that kind of stuff. Nobody wants that anymore, and it's devaluing your personal brand. And remember what I said, people are buying access or that connection with you. And so anything that's out there that looks any sort of like not good, it's a reflection on you and they're not registering. So what we're seeing now with coaches is they're getting garbage leads, even though it's cheap and they're like, wow, this is really good. But it's because the people who have the money are no longer responding to these funnels, okay? And so that's what you need to do. And the job of the ecosystem is we use long form content. There's a variety of ways we can do that in a school group, webinar, all that kind of automated webinar, all that kind of stuff. Certain types of short form content, get them on a list, so on and so on. And we build this ecosystem. And what it does is it gets you seen as the only option, the best option and the last option, so that it's people who come in who've tried everything else and they're like, oh my gosh, you are like the coach who coaches people who have already worked with coaches. That's what you want, because then it shows that you are the best and you are that micro niche. And so the job of the ecosystem is get them to a place when they book a call, it's to find out how they can buy your coaching. Okay, not just have a free call and, oh, by the way, I got this coaching program. Would you like it? Yeah, I'll think about that. Now, the fourth thing is the most important thing here. Okay, number 4, and I'm just gonna recap real quick, right? So you get it. Remember, number 1, in order to create a micro brand that gets affluent clients using a tiny audience, we need to do 4 things, right? You got to be the one person to the biggest problem of the people who need it, can afford it, and want it. And number 2, we use a symptomatic-based ad strategy so that what we're doing is we're getting rid of the aspirational wannabes who are like, oh, I'd like to be that. Let me see, right? You do not, Facebook's AI will go find those people, send them to you, and they will not buy anything ever, okay? And it will wreck everything. So you need to be using ads. Like, it's 2025, all right? If you still think you can get people off your Facebook page, your free Facebook profile, you're never going to get any clients. All right, we use ads, all right? And then the third system is ecosystem versus funnel, because funnels are no longer creating trust. They're creating distrust. Ecosystems are building trust. Now, number 4, remember, we need to amplify the touch points with mini celebrity status ads that that enhance your micro brand. These we can do for like $1 to $2 a day. And this is the secret to it all. So let me explain, right? There was that Google study, I've talked about it before, where they found out what do people need to buy? And they spent, they looked at all the analytics data, all their AdWords data, everything like that. And they said one of the biggest things, there were 3 things they said, but one of the biggest ones is that they need 11 touch points. Your ideal client needs 11 touch points. Here's what most coaches do. Give me a name and email, watch my free 3-minute video, book a call. Okay, so that's maximum 3 touch points. And then they send an email every week. Book a call because my stuff's amazing. Book a call because I've got case studies. It's like, it's just garbage, right? And nobody's buying, all right? And so you need 11 touch points. What does that mean? They have to experience you in some way, probably 11 times, and I think even more. How do we do that at scale on a small budget so they see you and it creates that mini celebrity status. Here's how. What we do is at every piece of the ecosystem, we pixel everybody. And what that means is Facebook sticks a piece of code on their site or on their computer, on their phone or whatever. And then what we do is we run these micro ads, okay? So let's hypothetically say you were running people from Facebook to a webinar, hypothetically, and you 100 people went, but only 20 registered, okay? So that leaves 80 people. So now what are we gonna do? We've got two audiences, an audience of 80 people who didn't register and an audience of 20 people who did. So now we have two micro ads that go out, and the first micro ad is to those 80 people and it gets them to register again. And we run various types of ads to build trust, get them to register, show them various things. And they're seeing you all the time. Every time they come on Meta, Facebook, Instagram, Instagram video, Facebook video, all that kind of stuff, they're seeing it, even if it's not a video. It doesn't even have to be a video. Rarely does it need to be. And they're like, who is this person? I see them everywhere. This is so awesome. They must be important. And remember, that ad's going to like 80 people. So you can barely spend $1 a day, right? Like you can't even spend a lot, but it's amplifying it. They're seeing you. And then they're like, wow, this person's important. So they're now coming into your ecosystem with already an enhanced status of you're a big deal. I need to find out how I can work with this person because they're a big deal. So then they come through, book a call and buy. Then the people who register but don't book a call or get into your community and don't book a call and all that kind of stuff, we're running ads to those 20 people, right? And there's a little example, right? And they're super small ads. So these people got into your stuff, they got distracted, they didn't do anything. Well, guess what? Or maybe their email is going to your spam or whatever, right? Now, how do you contact them? The mini celebrity status ads. It's going to them every day. They're seeing these little ads. They're seeing you in different ways on different placements all over Facebook, all over Meta, right? And they're like, wow, this is amazing. This is the stuff they're giving me is awesome. This person really knows their stuff. They're like reading my mail. They're reading my mind. I have to work with them. And then boom, they book a call. And then when they get on that call, it's not of, well, I don't know, I've talked to 40 other coaches. You sound the same, blah, blah, blah. It's like, wow, your stuff's amazing. I have consumed all your stuff. I see you everywhere. Like, how do I give you money? Like, how can you help me fix this problem, right? So your enrollment calls get shorter. There's no like arm wrestling them into buying any of that kind of stuff. It's like, here's how it works. Here's the investment. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Done. And so that's how you create a micro brand using mini celebrity status ads and do it for super cheap, okay? And it sells you. Look, I've got clients using these strategies using insane numbers in every niche you can think of. We just had our best month in terms of lowest cost per qualified call and our highest show up rate ever, okay? Ever in the history of my business. And I've been doing this model since 2010, and before that I was doing other models from 2003 to 2010, but nothing is beating this, and it's only gonna work better. So you've got a choice. Do you wanna just continue to hammer away at some clunky funnel, try and reach everybody, hopefully your cheap leads will come in, post content on social media that nobody sees, and just kind of hope it works eventually? Or do you want to be seen as having celebrity status with a micro brand, attracting affluent clients who see you as the only option, show up, buy, want to work with you, and have this whole system automated? That's the power of it. So here's what I have for you. Click the link below and book a free mini celebrity status 15-minute call with us, and we'll show you how to do it all. We'll talk about it. We'll map it out for you. And there's nothing to buy. It's only it's for our Skool members, our free Skool members. And so just hop on. We're going to walk you through how this applies to you, how you can do this, what the right niche would look like, what the right angle, what the right strategy. Map it all out. Okay, the call's free. It's 15 minutes. And again, there's nothing to buy on that call. There's nothing for sale. So don't even bring your credit card. All right. But here's the thing. You can go figure all what I just explained out and just kind of like piece it all together and spend months and months and months. But like I tell coaching prospects all the time, you can also like learn how to be a dentist by watching YouTube videos. But how's that going to end? It's going to be a disaster, right? That's just a horrific thing. It doesn't even work. And it's the same thing here. So instead of just trying to figure all this out yourself, simply book a call. We'll map it out for you. We'll show how you can work in your market, how to get that messaging nailed down, give you some feedback on your stuff, because most coaches are sitting behind their computer all alone. Nobody believes in them. Nobody thinks what they're doing is any good. They're trying to prove everybody that I'm going to make it or whatever, even if you are making good money. And so hop on, book that call, and we're going to work with you. We're going to map it out, give you some feedback on how to do all these things, because this is the future. The micro brand is the future. You are the future of your brand, and you got to understand it's not that complicated. You don't need a ton of video. And we've got clients in their 70s and early 80s doing this, all right? But you need to understand something, okay? As of this recording, it's October 2nd, 2025. Well, guess what's going to happen? There's going to be more competition. People are going to trust coaches less. Funnels are going to work worse. Ads are going to be more sensitive to AI. So they're going to attract more aspirational people. They're going to send you more garbage people. More people are using ChatGPT to create content, which is clogging up the free social media portals because they can't get enough content into the newsfeed. So they're having trouble sorting it out. So the percentage of people who see your content is going to get lower, 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 lower all the time, because of all the garbage content coming online, and then nobody's going to trust you. So what do? We need a proper system that allows you to create a micro brand that gets affluent clients and also does it with a tiny audience, okay? So that way you don't need to spend a ton of money, but you can be seen as a massive expert to the right people who have the money and want to work with you, instead of just pumping out books and going on TED Talks and doing all these things that it is not working. Those strategies work great until the summer of 2024. We are in a new era, and this is what is working now. Like I said, we've seen some insane numbers like we have not seen before, and I've been doing this since 2003. So this is what's working. Stop, I'm not saying it's in a bad way, but stop getting sucked into all the ninja tricks and hacks and tactics and little ad techniques and this and that. It's about a whole system, an ecosystem, not like selling a $20 ebook to then get them to book a call and then upsell them. It's about everything that we have to hook it all together. And then everything plays off each other. It automates itself. And then we're able to use all these strategies, because the bottom line is, if we can get people to see you as that only option with all those touch points, with those mini celebrity status ads that are super cheap, by the way, because remember, it's such a small audience that you can't spend a lot of money once it's all working. Like we try all the time. We're like, let's ramp up those mini celebrity status ads, and it won't work. So it's a super small budget and it works. All right. So either do this on your own, which is probably not the smartest idea, or book a call. It's free. There's nothing to buy. It's for our Skool community members, which I'm assuming you're a member of, and we're going to help you out. All right. Hope this helps. And remember, the future is micro brands to get affluent clients using tiny audiences with mini celebrity status ads. All right. That's the future. And that's how you're going to be seen as the best in your market. All right. Get to work. Book that call. Click. It's in the link somewhere in the description in the pin post.